Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This is your Med Check reminder. I hope y'all are having a beautiful Tuesday. Uh, hey, Miss Regina, thank you for the soup chat. Thank you, Miss Regina. Just read my book, Miss Regina. Thank you. Hey, James. Good morning. Sweet Tea 713. Dr. Soapy. T Roll Gaming. Good morning. Good morning. I hope y'all are having a blessed morning. My allergies are acting up a little this morning, y'all. I've been sneezing. I swear, allergy season this year has been worse than anything I've ever had. How y'all doing on this beautiful morning? I gotta take my medication, y'all. I gotta take my medication. Let me get my little sip of coffee. Can't forget them ADHD meds now. I got to have those. I got to have those, y'all. My ADHD be done act up so bad. But good morning, Ray. How you doing? Um, Ain't nothing really went on. Now y'all know tonight is Taylor Port Tuesday, so y'all know it's gonna get crazy tonight. I know some of y'all don't watch Lemon, and I get that. That's y'all's choice. I know some people do. You know, I ain't gonna never tell nobody what to do. Y'all grown folk and do what you want to do. Um, you know what I'm saying? But I will say that I hope everybody's having a good morning this morning. I ain't seen nothing real crazy go down the street. Now I did hear something about K Fit supposedly getting doxxed. Is that a real thing? Like I heard something about supposedly she had a grand theft auto charge. I'm like, I'm just sorry, I can't see K Fit being no gangster. Like I know it's like respect my gangster, but I just can't see that in my bird's eye view. I don't know why. Does anybody else get that feeling that may that I heard something about it. I don't know. I cannot confirm nor deny, right? Because I don't have that information. I don't go around looking for people's information. That's not me. Good morning, TSW. I don't go around looking for people's information. So I don't know if KFIT has any charges on her background, and I don't care to know, and I'm not going to look. Okay? Um, but I'm just wondering, I had heard that. Good morning, the D Ham Show. I had heard that, and I was like, wait a minute. I just can't see her being no person that's going to Grand Theft Auto and jack a car. Like, I can't see K Fit doing that. She don't seem like that type of person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could see me doing that before her doing that, if that makes sense. And I don't even do that. I don't break the law. But I'm sorry, but she just don't have that spirit. You know what I mean? To me, she don't have that criminal spirit of doing something like that. Now, if I could say that somebody in her position might do any kind of criminal activity when they were younger, maybe writing a bad check on themselves or doing a white collar crime. You know what I'm saying? But I can't see that. Yeah, I heard it too, Tay Bay. I heard it too. That's what the streets are saying. The streets are saying that there's a Grand Theft Auto charge. I'm like, oh, now, come on now. Hey, Dr. Lashana, good morning. Now, y'all know, I mean, just look at K Fit, right? As you're looking at her. Hey, Miss Diana, beautiful. If you're looking at K Fit, right, could you see her jumping in a car and Grand Theft Auto it? Now, I could say that it could be possible, like if she had a ex boyfriend and the car was in his name and he was just trying to be a D about it, right? He was trying to make sure she got home when he wanted her to be home, like she was in a DV situation. Because a lot of people don't know this, but if your husband or boyfriend or let's say somebody you're dating, the car is in their name and you are gone longer than they think you should be, guess what they can do? They can call the popo on you and say that you were supposed to be back at a certain time, and they can get you know DV charges on your butt. I mean not DV, but GTA charges on your butt, Grand Theft Auto on you. Because I know somebody's mama who did it to their child because their child didn't bring the car back when they was supposed to. And technically, if you don't bring the car back when you're supposed to, you know what I'm saying? you can get that charge. But I just can't picture her trying to jump into a car like the Kia boys. Okay? I just cannot picture that in my head. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't go. I'm sorry. I just, no. Like, could you imagine K-Fit jumping into a car and taking a screwdriver to it and crashing? No. The only way that I could see that be a thing would be if it was a situation, like I said, she's in a DV situation, borrowed the car from her boyfriend, or was supposed to go somewhere with him, or do something. And maybe he wanted her back before, she was supposed to be, and he called on her and claimed she stole the car when she didn't. You get what I'm saying? That's the only way I could see that situation going down. I can't see her actually jumping in no car and doing something like that. What about y'all? How do y'all feel on that? Y'all think y'all could see her jumping in a car like a Kia boy? I can't. I just can't do it. Good morning, Miss Catherine. Make sure I didn't miss nobody. I'm doing pretty good, sweet tea. My allergies are running a little bit, but I'm a lot better than I was last week. Now, I will say yesterday I forgot to talk about this. Okay, you know the situation that was going around that they was talking about, with the one lady and whatnot. Now, my husband did get my butt. Jay Dunn asked me this over on the hood table, and I forgot to repeat it, about giving money to the lady because I don't know her like that, right? He said it'd be different if you knew her like that, but you don't know her like that. And I was like, well, you know how my heart is? He's like, I know how your heart is. I was like, well, damn, I'm sorry. Well, Sweet Tea, they was going around saying that, the streets was saying, and this has been all over the streets recently. I don't know where it started necessarily, um, but they said something about K-Fit having a GTA charge, Grand Theft Auto charge, on her, background. So Rodney, it came on Rodney's channel, Miss Catherine. So Rodney talked about this on his live, and a guest explained her past, and it's just that her past. Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm like, I don't know why I can't see K Fit doing no GTA. I just can't do it. Like for some reason, my brain goes to like seeing somebody jump in a car doing some GTA. I'm gonna have to go watch that too. Um, okay, so whatever the issues were, the charges were dismissed. See, that's why I kind of think I don't know what the situation fully is. You know what I'm saying? But I believe it was a DV charge or something. It was like a DV situation. Um, but the reason I think it was a domestic violence situation because I have seen people do that to people, if that makes sense. Like I mean, even family members, like your cousin, your auntie. I don't think she intentionally stole anybody's car. I just can't see her being one of those people. I don't know why. In my brain, I don't see it. Oh, Uppity put it out there about K Fit, not Rodney. Rodney's guest was talking about it. Okay, okay. Thank you, Miss Catherine, for clearing that up. I don't want to give no bad news you can use. I don't like reporting it fakely. So Miss Uppity put it out about K Fit, not Rodney. Rodney's guest was talking about it. Okay. So Miss Uppity is the one that put that information out there. I cannot confirm nor deny whether it's true or not. I ain't never went up and looked up none of nobody's information like that. I ain't got time for all that. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't got time for all that. That's just too much. Uh, but I just can't see her jumping in no car like a GTA situation. So, in my opinion, and even if it is her past, and even if she did do something like that, let's say she did, let's just play devil's advocate here, right? What does it matter if she's changed today? Because everybody's done something. You know, everybody's done something in their past they may not be proud of, right? Everybody. I mean, me, myself, and I do not have a criminal past. Um, okay, I'm going to have to go listen to that, Miss Catherine. Okay, I might have to go listen to what that what I can't see it happening. But maybe that's just me. But we don't know anybody's past and what they were before, they growed up or whatever in situations. Cause I mean, you can get involved in the street life and look like you know, a pretty princess and still do some messed up stuff, right? In your past. But it's how you do today that really shapes you. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody has a past. Paul Masson, Paula Mason, what is that? I thought you was talking about the liquor. I thought you was talking about Parmesan brandy. Speaking with y'all, I did some dumb stuff on some Parmesan brandy one time. I promise y'all. Uh, but I did some dumb stuff on some Parmesan brandy once. I gotta tell y'all about that. So see what happened was it was the only time I ever got blackout drunk when I was younger. This was before I had my son, right? This because well, a lot of y'all know this story, but once I had my son, when I was pregnant, I had got a liver condition while pregnant, and so after that, I never drank again, right? Because I was taking care of my health to take care of my child and blah blah blah, right? And being a responsible parent on top of that. But before then, I was a little bad little child, y'all. I see what had happened was my ex was an alcoholic, right? And so I was waiting on him to come home and we were gonna eat together. Well, we ended up not eating supper, so child, I ain't eat nothing all that day. We ended up going to the liquor store and we got a fifth of Parmesan brandy and we got maybe a half a gallon. But and then we got some Canadian mist. Don't drink Canadian mist. That stuff is awful. Ugh, ugh, just makes me want to throw up today. And so I drank a whole bottle of that, and I drank half of the Parmesan brandy. And let's just say, by the time I got back home, I was blackout, but not fully blackout. I was able to walk and stuff. I walked to my room, but child, I puked in the hallway. I did. Mm-hmm. The room was spinning, the world was spinning. People was trying to talk to me. I'm like, shut up, let me go to sleep. But all of us have had something in our past that we may or may not be ashamed of or something. But it depends on how you grow up and change in the future. So like we don't know what all she went through back then before she had her son, and her son may have changed her life because sometimes that happens. With a lot of young girls, they get involved with the wrong crowd and the wrong folks, and then when they have their children, they grow up and they get better. You know what I mean? But I had heard that on the streets, y'all. And I just, I missed a few things yesterday because I, I was over there at Jay Dunn's Members Only Live. We was chilling over there, but I had to go out yesterday, and I was cooking for y'all know I was cooking for my mom and daddy's anniversary. And then after I got done cooking, I rested for just a little while. Went over there to Jay Dunn. Then I went and showered, and spent some time with my husband. So I missed quite a bit yesterday, probably. So I was over there. I was over there doing that, Chad. I'm telling you, Tay Bay, all of us have a past, and all of us has done something we ain't proud of when we was younger. Every one of us. Child, I'm glad they didn't have social media when we was young. When I was young, I'm glad they didn't have social media. I would have did something stupid. I'd be all up on there for doing something doing. I I'd be doing something stupid, y'all. I'd be over there doing something dumb. I'm glad. I am so glad that I did not have um, you know, social media at that time. That's true, sweetie. All in general, everyone has something they've done in the past, whether it be criminal or otherwise. And you know what I'm saying? That we ain't proud of that we did way back when, right? We did something. All of us did. Let me go over here and I'm gonna tell y'all something. I was looking on Tubi. I was looking on Tubi the other day. Just to let y'all know this, but you know Tubi's 100% free, right? And they got a lot of good documentaries and a bunch of like other stuff. But they got a lot of good documentaries over there, child. But I ain't know all what's going on with the K Fit situation. I need to go watch Rodney's live from yesterday. Rodney, I'm so sorry that I missed it yesterday. I was busy cooking. I made my mom and daddy a steak dinner. I made some roasted Brussels sprouts with carrots, and then I made a honey butter glaze for that. And then I made I did some mushrooms, and there's a thing that you do with honey and Worcestershire sauce, and you mix up do um, with the mushrooms, and it tastes so good. And then I also made some potatoes. There was two different kinds, and they had like seasoning with butter on them. The little red potatoes, the little mini ones, and the little golden potatoes. Child, I thought I was being special yesterday, and then I made some garlic bread. Child, I thought I was doing something. But I made all that yesterday, and it was so good. Ended up eating my ice creams. I found some ice creams that I feel like they crack in an ice cream bar. It has side points like this chocolate ice cream with a chocolate, and it's chocolate and more chocolate. It's awesome. I was telling somebody that at the store the other day. But I had saw it on some community walls. Is how I found out about it. I heard it on the streets. People was talking about it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, I wouldn't even have known that if nobody had told me that, and I wouldn't have guessed that neither. I am going to go have to listen to Rodney's live though about what the guest had said. Oh, you go, Miss Jean. You went to go get your Thanksgiving meal. Oh, what you gonna have for Thanksgiving? We're going to New York next week, and we're gonna have a Thanksgiving with his mom and dad and everything. Spend some time with them and whatnot. Well, see, both my mom and daddy are diabetic, so they can't really eat a lot of sweets. I would have made them a diabetic friendly cake, but child, I didn't think about it. That was on me. But I did go buy them some wine. They wanted to try some white wine. Did y'all know they making sugar free wines nowadays? Did y'all know that for my diabetic people? They make some sugar free wines for y'all. I just got to tell y'all that. They have zero sugar. I don't know how in the world they making that because we all know how wine is produced and made, right? But they do have zero sugar wine nowadays. I can't tell you how it tastes because I don't drink, but they do have some. I just want to let my diabetic people know that because y'all they coming out with all kind of stuff. Mm, Miss Jean talking dirty up in the chat, y'all. She talking about some turkey, some mac and cheese, some potato salad, rolls, and collard greens. She talking dirty in the chat, y'all. Y'all know we love our food. You know my fluffy tail. And then if you put chocolate cake or something on that. Now I used to love pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie. But for some reason, every time now that I eat it, something about the pumpkin spice and the allspice that's in and the nutmeg and stuff. I get heartburn like a mofo. Every time now that I try to eat pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie, I get heartburn. And that used to be my favorite pie, so it really upsets me. Now I have to settle with cheesecake. Now my daddy likes pecan pie, and I did find, and I think I shared it a long time ago. I'm gonna have to go re-find it, reshare it. It was this nice lady who made a sugar-free, zero sugar for my diabetics pecan pie, and it was actually really good. It's set up exactly like a pecan pie too. Like she did an amazing recipe. It didn't. It looked just like the old school ones with the Karo syrup and stuff. Because the old school pecan pie had Karo syrup in it. Well, this lady taught me how to make it with zero sugar maple syrup and stuff. And I read her stuff, and she's so good. Oh, for real, Miss Catherine? So if that my daddy does the apple cider vinegar, like he does like an apple cider vinegar thing where he puts like lemon juice in it and he puts some other stuff in it because there was this like it's supposed to like burn calories and stuff drink that he had saw online. Mm. Now see here's the thing, y'all gonna laugh at me or hate on me. I don't know which one, but I don't like peaches. I know, and I'm allergic to strawberries. So imagine how that sucks because strawberries are delicious. Um, but yeah, I like apple cobbler. Now I can make a really good peach cobbler, but for some reason I ain't never liked peaches. I don't know what it is. I've tried it every way you can have it. I still don't like the taste of peaches. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Some folks is weird like that. I guess I'm one of those weird people. I don't even like that stuff. But I do know that I will say that a lot of times when I'm trying to use a sweetener in food, I will use honey or natural honey because I have noticed that it does not bother them, or like natural sugars, not cane sugar. Hmm. I love nectarines too, Miss Fran. I love nectarines. I love uh, plums, but I don't like the. Okay, y'all gonna laugh at me about this one. I don't like the purple plums. I like the green ones. I like sour fruits. I don't know what it is. That's why I love citrus so much. Like lemons, limes, oranges, tangelos. Anything in that family is my friend. I love every bit of it. Grapes, but I like the green ones above the purple ones. Yes, sweet tea. Oh my God, I found somebody else who has an allergy like me. See, it don't give me a rash when I eat it. Miss G said, Charlie, please don't throw me out the chat, but here it goes. I don't like nothing that comes out the ocean. See, here's the thing. I love my shrimp now, and I love my fish. But I do love my southern fried catfish. I can't help myself on that one now. That's because where I grew up. There's so many sugar-free desserts and different things you can get now. All different kind of things. But when I eat strawberries, it gives me let's just say I'm like the Exorcist. Yeah. So I don't like eating strawberry anything because of that, and that's how my allergy works. And child, well, see, I can't do it. I cannot do strawberries because what happened to me. And let me tell you how I found out I was allergic to strawberries. Y'all got to hear this one. Okay, so I was in fourth grade, and I had a kick that year. My school had some really great chef salads, right, with all the fixings. But I'd always choose something for dessert, right? Well, that dessert we had was a strawberry shortcake, and it was the first time I'd ate real strawberry because almost everything we had when we was little, if y'all remember, before they started putting real strawberry in everything, it was all fake. If you remember, even fruit roll-ups and gushers, the strawberry in that was fake. All the candy was fake, right? And then they started doing that thing where no, they have to put the real thing in there with the real fruit juice and stuff and mess it up for people like me. Um, so what had happened was I ate about it was just the tip of the strawberry. About that, I think it was 2 seconds after I ate it. As soon as it hit my stomach, y'all. As soon as it hit my stomach, I had to go. I had to run, like, and then I got sick as a dog. They had to call my mom and daddy and come get me from school. Your friend is allergic to shellfish, and so before he eats shellfish, he'll take a Benadryl. It's never had a reaction. Hi, that's awesome. It also does depend on the person's allergy to whatever allergen they have, right? Like, so for me, I could literally chew up a strawberry and spit it out as long as I don't swallow it. For some reason, I don't like get the same effect, if that makes sense. Like I could put it on my skin and I'm not going to break out in a rash. But if I ingest it for some reason, it messes me up. And that's the same people, some people with shellfish allergy. They can't even have it around them. They can't have, like, if somebody cooks shellfish in one thing um, and then has it in another thing, they can't even eat that because it'll mess with them. But then some people's shellfish allergy is so light that they just get a little tickle or um, something like that. They might get an upset stomach. That's just like people who have. I have a little bit of lactose intolerance, not a huge one. Lactose intolerance, like I can drink milk and I can eat ice creams and I can do all that thing, but let's just say I'm gonna become Popeye the Sailor Man, toot toot, I'm gonna get gassy. I'm snitching on myself. Um, it's something about it. It gives me gas. I don't know, but it don't bother me in the fact of like some of the other bad things that other people get. You know what I'm saying? Um, Benadryl is actually a really good antihistamine if you have any kind of allergies. Like I'm allergic to bees, and when I get stung, like I'll swell up like the Michelin Man. Uh huh. And I'll turn red and stuff like that. So every time I get stung by a bee, I take Benadryl every single time. Benadryl is my friend. They do make all kind of desserts though, better than they used to back in the day. Yeah, I gotta stay away from the strawberries. I don't even mess with them, y'all. I don't mess with them. Mm-mm. I don't mess with them. I stay away from the strawberries, y'all. Good morning, the hood table. How you doing, boo boo? How's work this morning? Yeah, I'd hate to have a shellfish allergy just because I love shrimp so much. Like Chinese and Japanese restaurants and stuff, and like shrimp fried rice, you know what I'm saying? Like I would probably cry if I got told I couldn't eat that no more. Good morning, shaker, shaker, shaker. How you doing? Hey, good morning. We over here bull crapping and just talking mess this morning. Mhm. Today is Topic Tuesday. If anybody has a topic they want to bring up, we just talking about allergens right now and the foods, and different things we allergic to. And I don't know how we got on this topic, but we did, child. That's just like, yeah, I am severely allergic. I ain't never had to use an EpiPen though, but I had a friend who had to use EpiPens if she got stung. She had to carry around an EpiPen, and I had to learn how to use it properly, and whatnot. Hey, D Miss O, good morning, beautiful. Oh, I didn't even drop the link because I'm using this new thing, and some people can get on here and don't have a problem, and some people can't. But I'm gonna go ahead and drop that link if anybody wants to come up and try it, because for some reason this thing works great. I won't get my Streamyard back until the 24th unless I could come up with the 40 dang dollars to pay for that crap. Um, that stuff's expensive. It's not cheap. StreamYard is expensive, so I was trying out the new stuff, and this one don't work as good. And I was hoping I would find us one that would be cheaper and would work amazing. And so far, I've tried six of them, and none of them really worked that great. In fact, one of them was pure awful. It was bad. It was really bad. That one stream that I used that day, that one was rough. The Ubermax wasn't terrible. They just cut you off after 2 hours. So maybe if you upgrade it, nobody seemed to have any problems when I was using it, you know, and people came up as guests on it. So I don't know. I might try that one again. I might actually look see if they got a deal going on. Your husband's cooking it all, but the cabbage and deviled eggs, desserts contracted out, aunt's pound cake, and mom ordered red velvet cup. Now, red velvet cupcake sounds delicious. I'm telling you, that means after going to school for all that time and whatnot, Demon, so that finally being able to chill is a good thing. Cause I know that you was studying, you was running yourself ragged, taking care of your kid, and going to work and all that. Now, Kind Master, I will say this, Catherine. It's kind of like OBS and all that. I was trying the ones where people just click on it and use the easy ones. I think we got a guest. Oh, we do have a beautiful guest. Hold on. I forgot to add. You're going to laugh at me. I forgot to add my banner. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me add my banner. I forgot. I forgot. Because I'm always beginning something. Is that you, my beauty?
Yep, this is me.
Uh-oh, says my pretty. No, see, Jay Dizzle has problem with this, but the last two times I think you've come up when I've used this, you ain't had no problem. I don't know what it is about some folks having trouble with this and some folks not. I swear, I gotta go shut my door and then people being loud as crap.
I had problems getting up on that one, not the restring, but that other one. That's the one I had problems getting on.
Oh yeah, that other one wanted people to download an app to get on it.
Right. And then, yeah, you had to do, yeah. And then when I was trying to download the app, my Apple was giving me problems with it. It was a lot. But this one, no, I can get right up on.
Yeah, this one. The only thing is, I found some people have a issue. It drops them
Yeah, Jay
after.
Dunn was telling me she was having problems. That's why I didn't see her over here yesterday. And I was like, we gonna discuss the case. She's like, she is having problem getting up on there. Now, you can't use the because you don't really have a lot of people up here. You can't use the other stream, yeah, because that's what I used when I went live the other day. I don't need more than 6 people on it right now.
No, it's not that with the StreamYard. I've run out of free streaming hours.
Oh, because you come often. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and so I'm over my time limit, and you only get like 20 free hours
Is it per month or just period?
per month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so on the 24th it resets.
Oh, okay. Well, what y'all talking about? I see y'all talking about Thanksgiving. I was talking about what I was like. I ain't got to really cook much on Thanksgiving, which is a blessing. Because my husband mostly cooks everything. I usually cook like cabbage or greens or whatever I'm going to do. Sometimes I do deviled eggs and nobody's doing potato salad, but I'll do deviled eggs and cabbage. And I usually do the sweet potato pies, but my aunt is doing pancake. My mom ordered these red velvet, couple dozen red velvet cupcakes from this lady. So I'm like, well, shit, I ain't doing the pies. So this year, all I gotta do is cabbage with my cabbage and peppers and deviled eggs, and that's it.
Now we do something down south that y'all don't do up north. When y'all say y'all are making stuffing, a lot of times it's like the stuff you get in the box. It's like the bread stuffing, right? We do something called chicken and dressing.
Yeah, well, we do dressing in Tennessee. My
You
husband
know
sometimes
what
will
I'm
put the
talking about?
chicken in
Chicken
it.
and dressing.
I
It's a
love it.
cornbread. I do too. It's a cornbread dressing, and it's got chicken and eggs and onions in it. It's so delicious.
Celery, yep. He usually throws some chicken in there too when he does it at home, like during the off seasons when it ain't Thanksgiving. He'll just put the whole thighs. Like if I want some dressing, because it's my favorite food, he'll just put thighs in there and just make the chicken and dressing like that during the year. But during Thanksgiving, we just do it on the side with the. Now I've had seafood dressing before, and I liked it. It had somebody did one. I didn't like the oysters, but I like the other stuff, the crawfish and all of that. Now without oysters, but I've had some good ass seafood dressing. Now they be throwing their foot in it.
I love a good cornbread dressing. Ain't nothing like it. And the only thing is, some people oversage it because you put sage in it and stuff.
Hmm.
And if they oversage it, I get a heartburn from it. But if it's done just right, where it's just the right amount of sage, it's perfect. And I like having my cranberry. You know what I'm saying with it.
I love cranberry sauce. Yeah, I have to make sure I secure the bag on the cranberry sauce early. I get my cans before Thanksgiving because I keep a
Oh
can
yeah.
there. I keep a can in my cabinet all year because, like I said, when I'm being a good girl, sometimes my husband will make me some dressing like for Mother's Day or some other things too. So I keep cranberry sauce. Hey, sweet tea, how you doing, boo? I like how Restream show you the little chat stuff on a little side thing like that.
Yeah, I do like Restream. I just wish it just didn't have the issues with my guests sometimes. Other than that, it works great.
hmm
That's the only thing that I think it would be up there, if not beating StreamYard, if it
hmm
didn't have that issue.
Oh yeah, I like it because the visuals are better. It's just when y'all have to click on the link to see what we be talking about because the visuals are better. The little stuff you can do while you up here when in the bottom screen thing, you can change the avatar. It's just easier to coach people through. I think.
Oh yeah, and to make the scenes like to put up your videos is so easy. Like your
hmm
welcome video and your intro and outro. To do your guest banner, it just takes a little second, but it's real simple to set up. If it wasn't for it
hmm
dropping my guest, this is the one I would put my money into.
Right.
And it's actually cheaper. It
But
is cheaper.
what cases have we talked about? Because I know you Thursday you're gonna do the cases. You following the baby. So has the hot baby in the car case is that over yet or is that still going on?
I've been following. Now, Jay John was talking about that case. I need to research that case. The cases that I've been following have been the lady who put her mama in a pot and ate her, or was
Oh
going to.
no.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing out of Kentucky. Then come to find out, and on that Kentucky case, the brother was just as crazy as the sister, and they was trying to get a protection order against him.
Now also to that case with the now what's the Lowell what's his name Low McKinley what is his damn name?
Yeah, the Lowell McKinley case.
Uh-huh.
That one, I think. Let's see, make sure I got that one right. Because I remembered that one. I did
And
go
then
over
the
there.
stab the baby case with the Colt. Did you when we
The
talked
Colt
about
baby
that?
case.
Yeah.
Yes, I did do that one. Um, I did do that one. They're still having that right now. We don't have a, if they guilty or non guilty, but we do. We were. I am
That's
watching
the one
that
I was trying to
case.
come up on your live that day, and that's the only time Richard did give me show. Because I was trying to click your link that day because I wanted to talk about that witness, the rock star, who everybody else so hard on, but to me he needs to get Citizen of the Year. I am so fascinated with him. The stoner friend that came in described what he saw. It just amazes me. People in cults. Now hear me out, because I used to be obsessed with one of my favorite people in history is Charles Manson, and I got so upset because I've always thought saw myself like it's this forensic type, social worker type, therapist type, whatever, and I go in there and like deal with people who a lot of people couldn't, like the Susan Smith, like the mom. I always said I could work with people like that in Charles Manson, like I could actually talk to people and be non-judgmental. Now I said that about Susan Smith till I had a child, then that changed the game. But with Manson, I still felt that way because I just was like, anybody that can do to me that don't ever ain't touched a body, but done touched the body. I don't know. I just find some weird obsession with a boss ass person. Like it's like I think it's like damn because I like to delegate, and I'm like this fool delegated. He ain't actually never put no blood on his hands. So technically, I just had this weird thing with like y'all need to let my boy Manson free because hey, these fools can like fall to the direction of somebody and he ain't even gotta touch nothing. They just drink the Kool-Aid. I don't know. I've always been fascinated by people like that that can rule and get people to do crash out shit without blinking the eye and they just, ain't gotta do it themselves. But people like him, but Charles Manson and folks like that, that's how come I know those cults can kind of be, those people can sometimes represent to be like charming a little bit, like Ted Bundy because the guy you just felt bad for him. He was like so into it, but it's like I know it's sick because how can y'all just take calls from this lady? He said that she's called the house a bunch of times. They've talked a bunch of times since then. And if I walked in on my fellow cult member, no matter how much I cared about her, with all that scene he described with that little baby, and you know that she was trying to get you to stop saving her because she wanted to die because she knew she had just stabbed that baby, and she's starting to stab her punk ass self, and you had to call the police and all of that. After seeing that, how can you just take casual jail calls from that person? I don't get
I,
it.
I couldn't myself. Hey, pretty big woman Q. Um, Under new management has been telling me to tell you if anybody saw you on the streets that she looking for you because she wants to bless you because you're such a blessing to others. I just wanted to say that to you, and also we've been missing you. Uh, but yeah,
Who?
uh, pretty big woman
Who we
Q.
talking about?
Pretty big woman Q. She's been MIA a little bit. Uh,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and
I feel it's
but
like I know under new management ain't say she been looking for me to bless me like my graduation because she see me all the time on pastors ain't sent me a dime. But that's right, pretty big woman. She's always sweet and supportive. Is she
yeah,
okay?
yeah, she probably just took her little tiny off. You know how that goes.
Oh, you know how they go. I've been a little, on the low a little bit. I had been missing. I've been choosing sleep instead of choosing activities. Like, and my husband had been was home a little bit, so like Friday all weekend, I really been like out the way too. I just kind of been like, I started to come on. I was like, I'd rather do something else. You get in those little lulls. Like, I'm glad I feel this way about it though, because they don't have the tension and all the other bullshit I used to have about my breaks and stuff. Now it's just like, okay, time to close the phone on you hoes. I'll be back soon because I have a life outside of this and I'm not gonna let nobody just treat me any kind of way. And then when y'all remember that I'm the goddamn queen, I'll be back. And that's just how it's gonna go. But anyway, it's self preservation first these days. But yeah, so somebody like that, I just don't understand how you could just casually take that jail cost. But when I tell you the shits and giggles I got on him on the stand, he gave my life. Like that's why me and Jake get along too, because it's another side of me, like that little sinister, like sarcasm type. I don't know, wicked way I can have. I just love shit like that. Like, cause I mean, he's just a rock star. Like, he was an excellent witness. He was detailed. He was just, I don't know, I just loved him. I just thought he was just such a character. But they tried to make it seem like he was responsible, like y'all knew she was sick. I keep seeing all these things about y'all knew she had severe postpartum, you knew she was being mind controlled, and that these people at the house are also responsible because they was in this cult. But I don't understand that. Like, if he was also in the cult and she just happened to bring a baby there and she had her own issues and she had postpartum, but she wasn't getting no help, how many of us in our regular life would be on the stand? Because we know people who they need to go do something, but you ain't turning them in and telling them they forced to go get some help. Like, you just tell them what to do and you try to support it, but you don't go and crash out. I mean, what can you ultimately do about somebody like that?
And here's the thing, like this goes into question not just the fact that she has the postpartum or may have a psychosis problem or whatever. Um, how much of the cult actually affected that? Because we look at these cults all the time, like you were talking about Charlie Manson's cult, right? They became illers. You know what I'm saying? They went crazy and went off the deep end and tried to cut a pregnant, a baby out of a pregnant woman and stuff. They went cray cray. They was on them drugs. And the fact that this is a polygamous cult, don't it, I mean, the FDLS church is another one, I get curious about that. I'll be watching them folks for some reason. It's just something crazy about polygamy itself in general, especially the ones that involve the cults with it. Wait, I don't know why we're all so interested. A lot of us are, if you think about it, in like how do people get sucked into cults? Like I know that's what a lot of when we watch this stuff, we're like, I wonder how they got sucked in it. How you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
I don't understand how they get sucked in and how their brain works to let somebody else tell them what to do because I'm too strong minded and I will cuss back. I can't be in no cult.
I'm too stubborn. I gotta have independent thought. Like, it's even hard for me to even be subservient, like in like a husband and wife type situation. I've had to learn and get better with that over time in a way that's comfortable for me. Let alone somebody who ain't paying my bills, who ain't giving me no kids, who ain't doing nothing, telling me what to do, and then I gotta go cater to that fool. Honey, I'm too used to being catered to, child. He gonna be wanting me to be barefoot and pregnant. I'm just like, shit, I'll be pregnant. But you go, honey, I need to go to get my treatments and go to the nail shop, and I'm not gonna be all humble and sitting there with you plain Jane while you go get all these hoes, and I let myself go. If it come with wigs and nails, honey, I'll sign up. But if not, baby, bye. Them court women be having to give up too much and creature comforts for me, child. I wonder, can you have your Stanley Cup and go to the gym and get your nails done when you in the club?
See, I got me. I got me over here. Instead of a Stanley, I got me a Yeti. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm spoiled rotten by my husband. Like he gonna get me stuff. Like he got my coffee this morning for me. Um,
Right.
I'm spoiled. I can't do it. Like I be done. I be done got myself hurt in a cult because I be done cuss somebody out. Like I can't shut up. I'm
Me
just.
neither. And I ain't got no list of things. I gotta make sure. Like I told my husband the other day, what was it, Sunday? I cooked this cabbage and shrimp, and it's a cabbage, sausage, shrimp, and bacon piece stir fry that
Mm.
I've made so a couple times. They love me to make it. And then I actually made a strawberry cake or whatever. I made the one where you can make a fake box slash fake homemade when you add stuff to it. And I was like, this is even southern and domestic. I said, this sounds like some shit my uncle used to do. I said that from the mad out of me is or whatever. I was like, a damn cake and a goddamn meal on a Sunday. I said, oh, this old school shit. I said, I'm gonna milk this for a while, honey. I said, oh Lord. I was like, I can't believe it. I don't know how they did this. And these women be standing up, their feet be swelling all day. They working and they be working too and coming home doing these meals and then a dessert too, a cake. I was like, oh my God, I feel like this was like the 60s, 70s. I was like, oh my God, I feel so accomplished. I was like, man, I ain't doing shit for the rest of the week. And because my husband will be on the road and he'll come through, and he literally will. He was just the sweetest. He'll come through. If I be doing something, do my note or whatever, be Albert Chloe, whatever, he'll come through, make something, and then by the time he do his 10-hour reset or whatever, like for the he'll be back out again, and I come home. He done made dinner because he enjoys cooking. Like we don't do gender roles over here. It's just whoever does it. Except for like I don't do trash and shit like that. I do gender roles, but he don't. But he does those kind of things for me. And people think in the South, oh, you gotta take care of your husband, or when you gonna serve like servicing your husband. That's like every relationship ain't right there. He had the type of mama who said, I'm gonna teach you how to cook and sew, because you're not gonna be dependent on no woman and the way no woman gonna take care of yourself. You a grown ass man. And I thank that woman every day. I hate she's no longer with us. Unfortunately, she passed early a couple years ago, but I got to meet her and everything. She was sick when I met her, but I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. You don't know what you done, child, because you did not. Because I always thought I couldn't marry no man in the South because I've always been real my mouth, and I don't like the typical things like you got to do everything for the baby, like. Oh, he changed diapers. I'd be like, he made this baby. He gonna wipe this shit up too. What the hell y'all think this is? I'm never. That's why I didn't think I was gonna have kids. It would. I always knew that I was gonna be somebody from the north, or I would just do it on my own because I just wasn't doing all of that shit. You're not gonna have my feet swole up in here doing all this stuff. Everybody dropping their baby, and I'm like, you just supposed to do it. This is what you do. You're outside baby. I never want to be one of them Southern women who goddamn died 60 something because then they feet swollen, they doing all this shit that they think they supposed to do. Nope. Never. But it worked out, thank the Lord.
Now I will say I am a traditional woman of the South, and you know exactly what I mean when I say that.
Oh, I'm very traditional, just not in the way that they think. Yeah, you supposed to be.
I'm the
Like,
actual one that will literally run his bathwater and bring him his plate. Yes, I am
oh,
that
I would love.
traditional.
Oh, yeah, I do that. I bring a plate, but see, my husband, so he was raised a certain way. Like he don't even be letting me do that. Like sometimes they'll be like at family gatherings, be like, "Oh, you gonna make your man a plate?" So I do the shit because I know how I was raised and what the South is say. Like even my grandma and them like that, so I don't mind like making my husband a plate. But lots of times he'll get up and do it himself, or I be like, or I bring it to him. Like if I make it, he'll take it. But he don't like make me feel like I have to do that and all that stuff about who
Oh
gets
yeah,
served first and all of that. No, I like being loving because I'm a Cancer, so I do submissive things, but they not like I don't feel like I have to. Like some of the women will be sick and still feel like a man can just sit there and not do nothing. Like throw their clothes down, don't even pick them up. Like you can't even put them in. Like I do all the clothes, but he don't just throw them down. Think he can't take his ass to the goddamn laundry basket. Now some of them are, you seen the ones I'm talking about. They
I
so
seen the
bad,
one.
they just throw them down.
I had one previously, and thank God my man now is nothing like that. When I'm sick, he take care of me. But
Right,
when I
right.
had my son, the man that I was with, the father of my child, he wouldn't even do nothing for the baby for 5 seconds, so I could go clean up his mess.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. That's the examples that I saw people putting up with, and I said, you know what I'm talking about. We from the same type of area. Like, do y'all not think I deserve one day off from the critiques and the complaints? Like, I know y'all don't like the way I talk, the way I dress, the way I walk, the way I look. I mean, goddamn, but every bitch get tired. That's why I go retreat, and then I come back to certain places where I don't have to really put up with that bullshit. Like that's why I come over here. I come to pastors because goddamn, I'm a good person, and I don't know y'all people. Y'all have let people tell y'all I'm the antichrist. Y'all know that's different because y'all see what the real antichrist in every day. I don't do the cruel shit to people or nothing. But y'all have to come in every chat I am try to make me feel small. Like I'm not on that type of time today.
That's why on in
You never
situations
know
you
what
gotta
people go
ignore them.
through. You don't know the medical news. I just like people got yesterday. Like you don't never know. Like I'm on a ticking time clock to raise my daughter, and I don't want to come here when I'm not on that shit. If I bother you and I talk that tough shit, that's one thing. But if I'm coming up here and we just talking about the shit, and because Restream forces us to see stuff on the side now, it's even worse than Streamline. Even if she didn't put the links up, because Charlie don't do that type of shit. But come on, like I come over here to have a good time and to chill. Like, if you
Here,
don't understand me, ask what you didn't understand. But to change I mean, I don't think that Charlie doesn't understand how we having a conversation. Like, if I'm talking that fast, that's one thing. But, like, I mean, I think she understands it. That's why we talking.
I understand every word you're saying,
Right. Sometimes it's a willful ignorance. But anyway.
but I will say sometimes when you
Yeah, I
get
get
real
what you mean. You can
angry,
slow me down, but it's out of
I'm
love.
like, hold on, slow down, slow down. I can't
Right.
understand.
And please slow me down. But it's a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Out of love, or like I know you ain't doing it to be to just to make me feel bad. You really just trying to understand what I'm saying, right? So.
Oh yeah, a lot of times when you get real angry and you
Oh
angry,
yeah.
angry,
Oh yeah.
ooh, I'm like, you can tell you from the south because you got that fast talk.
I know a
You,
lot of people think I'm used to think I was from the north when I was younger, and then people from the north be like, "Nah, you can hear the drawl." Like they hear, like when I meet people at college, like, "Nah, we know you from the south." They're just people who from down here, because the north people are fast when they talk, but it's a little different. It's still pronounced. It ain't just the speed, but you can hear my drawl because, like they say, I be blah 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 blah, child, or like blah 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 blah, girl, like, and it's still the drawl. Like I still say "ma," like.
you still say
Uh,
y'all and how you doing.
like you really hear the accent when I do like Southern Tools. I remember I would go to college with people from the north, and people be like, "You are you from the north?" They be like, "Nah, you can tell." And I do little stuff like I remember UGK had a popular song then, and I'd be like, Holland Bras at the mall watching ball, and they be like, "See, look at that. That ain't no damn like I got that draw." So it's a difference. They don't like I talk very Southern, and I've had guy boyfriends from up north, like in New York. A lot of people I met at college was from New York. That's what I used to love. And like that voice, that fast talk is different than mine. It's a different type of talk.
Oh yeah, because people from New York they talk real fast, right? In different places, but it sounds different. The way it
Hmm.
sounds is total different.
Right. It's like a little, yeah, it's a little different. But no, I love my southern man. I'm glad I did because I used to think I didn't want to live here. I wanted to do everything up north. I wanted to be in New York or Chicago. I used to like so think the South wasn't for me. Like a certain type of woman wouldn't be appreciated here. But you just had to find the ones. That's not true. So I'm glad because I do love our tradition. Wouldn't have it any other way. I like traveling, but now that I used to think I wanted to be so away from it, but I just love it. It's affordable. You can have a home base for affordable, be able to attain a home, and then you can go visit everywhere else you want to go. I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world where we from. I love how we raise. I love how we eat. I love how we are. You know,
I
I'm
love the
just
fact that I can go to the store and make a friend in 2.5 seconds.
right. And
Good.
and if you join the church, good and goddamn, if you have surgery, if you don't join that church, like they don't do meal trains everywhere. It's like I just love us. Like you ain't even gotta go to that church. Like I had a surgery before I came up here. I had a hysterectomy before I came up here because whatever I had like a something that happened and I had to get that partial hysterectomy. So my friend, because I hadn't even joined. I kept my church and membership from when I was in Atlanta. So I only would just go to my mom's church. But I had a friend in Chloe's dance class. She went to a nice little, white Methodist church, which I like Methodist, and I go to, non denominational, and I would visit churches too. and we just visited one time for a fall trunk or treat. When I tell you they put me on the darn meal train, and people was leaving like that's just how they do. So they was leaving Olive Garden. Then the next day, when my friend Molly did it, like she cooked because she know what I like. But like they was leaving this stuff on my thing just for like being at home a week, just because they heard about it. And I was like, oh, that's what I'm talking about. Only in the South. I mean, like, and because they didn't really know me, a lot of it wasn't home cooking. Like I got Olive Garden, I got one weekday it was because Chattanooga's a little different restaurants. I think I had like macaroni grill, then it was Cheddar's. I was like, what the hell? And I was just for a little partial hysterectomy because they just wanted to do the meal trade. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Only in the South, baby. Only in the South.
Oh, you know something else I heard they don't do up north that we do here? You know, when we see a funeral procession, we stop on the side of the road, we pull off. They don't do that up north. You know how
Right.
we'll pull over side, and then it also like if you know somebody in your community had a death in the family or something, you bring a dish or
Oh
take them
yeah, we
something.
always want to repay. Yeah, and you don't even wait for the repay. It's like you just start. Pretty much, it's usually either the grandmama or the mama, whoever, like the main gathering house. You just start dropping stuff off, chicken, drinks, like because the way we do it is the family in grief. We don't want them to have to worry about cooking before or after or the week after the funeral.
Oh,
So we
well,
make sure they have stuff, and especially if it's a man and the matriarch, the widow died. Oh hell, honey, it's casseroles and shit for a month or two, if not more.
when my brother passed, we had so many people come to our house dropping stuff off. It was crazy.
They do, and it's like, and like, yeah, we take care of each other. Even if you don't really care for somebody, I don't care if it was the one in church. You always looked at her clothes, or she always came there with an attitude, or nobody couldn't stand how she ruled the kitchen line. But that don't matter. In death, it's about taking care of the other people. Even if you couldn't stand the matriarch or whoever it is, they did that. And I mean, shoot, my aunt wasn't even. My aunt was attached to the church, the one that I just had to deal with the probate and like be over her estate and all of that. And like even her church was like, y'all are not doing anything, like especially with me, kind of being like the first grandchild. So it's like I'm not usually the matriarch type person. I mean, they was just like unbelievably good. Like, nah, you're not gonna have to do anything. We got this many people at this restaurant, and they knew I lived out of town, so all that stuff was just taking care of me for me. Like, no, we got this is just part of the church. So I went to the church and I gave an offering, of course, to the church and told them thank you how they did it. But yeah, they just had a cap on it, and they took care of my out of town people because I had to come back up to Nashville like immediately after the service. I couldn't stay because I already had them tickets and everything, and they really made it so seamless. I could just go to the funeral, do what I need to do, and I was able to leave, and they still just did everything for me. And that's just on her dedication to the church. Of course, she earned it, but I'm just saying, typically, people have to do all that themselves.
Yeah, they do that down here still, and there's a lot of other things. You have an echo a little bit, Demon Soul.
Oh, because I always put something in front of that speaker thing on the iPhone. That's what be affecting my sound. I have my finger over, or I just be moving around, and I didn't even really notice that Trip was the one who helped me realize what I might be doing, like when my volume go. And then one time, so then we'd be like, whenever he would have his thing, he'd be like, girl, get your finger off of that thing, or you letting your clothes eat your mic again. Like he be knowing what I be doing. Cause I have it over this little thing, but I can't wait to. I was gonna upgrade to this. Like my mom offered to my, we gonna get new phones, and I just got the 14. Shit, I went from a 10 to a 14. I don't do no every year things or whatever. But then they got the 16, and I'm on it like, and I got the other one as a gift. Like I'm just doing it as a trend gift. I love my phone because it's like my little mini entertainment. It's like a mini computer in your hand. But I think I'm going back to Droid because I don't need. I'm not. You have to have an external mic ready to have a boom mic on the iPhone, and it's just too many charges associated with having it. The high ass insurance, the goddamn, and if I do the watch, that fee, and then the quality of the phone is not as good. It's these Droids are way better, and I miss Samsung. You couldn't tell me shit about Samsung. I'm going back because I can't stand having an iPhone. Is just to me one of those like things like a Stanley Cup or whatever, because it to me don't it's too expensive to have one for the money for the quality of the sound.
Well, you know, my Yeti cost me $45.
Oh yeah, these are pricier, but they work better. Like if I didn't get my Stanley as a gift, I wouldn't have one. I had an off-brand one, and it worked better than that. And them other cups, them Southern Anyway, it's a lot better cups than the Stanley. It's all about trendiness. So like I got a
Mhm.
real cute UT cup. It's not Stanley. I think it's not Yeti because I've had a Yeti too, and I like my Yeti better than the Stanley cup.
Oh, I can put my ice in the morning if I fill it up with ice early in the morning, and it'll last 2 days sometimes. I don't have to refill or nothing. It's awesome. I love my Yeti. But I do like, I'm with you. I love Android better. I've tried iPhone. There's just too many accessories you have to buy in order to use it properly. Like even to use headphones, you have to have a special thing if you want to charge and use your headphones at the same time, unless you get the earbuds. You know what I'm saying? Like say you want to use a corded headphone. Yeah, try that with an iPhone to see what happens to you. Um, you're gonna have a special thing so that you can charge your phone and hear your headphones at the same time. Versus Android, I can just throw in some cheap $5 headphones from Walmart. I ain't even got to buy that expensive stuff if I don't want to. I like my Android, and I have on my singing app Star Maker. It's completely free to use on Android. Versus when I use iPhone, you have to pay for VIP. I'm like, mm.
Yeah, it's too many charges associated. The sound quality sucks, and like in a B sector especially, like if I want to cuss a hoe out, I have to either get on my laptop or my daughter's Droid. But in this one, my sound is whatever, and I have an external mic. I just don't be feeling like having to do all that. I want my phone because you know people like to ride up on me and it change it from calm to good. So I have to be ready to activate. I like what the Droid let a bitch know.
Now I do. I don't have it in right now. I have my headphones in right now, but I do have me a beef sector mic over there if I ever need it. Trust me, I use it occasionally when when we do like when I'm singing or something because I can hear myself in it. I have my Yeti mic over there, so I'm ready. But if it's my own
Yeah, I
stuff,
have
I
me
ain't
a
got to
Yeti
worry.
too, and because I'm supposed to have been doing I'm doing some other content outside of here and getting myself ready. So I was working with somebody to get me some stuff like set up. I got the lights and all that. I'm just too. I need to put it all together and get it all together. But I mean, and I put it out like one time, but I just don't use it like as I'm just chilling on the things or whatever. And then by the time somebody roll up, shit, I ain't prepared. But that's okay though, cause I'm gonna try to stop having to do those things. That way, I won't need to be prepared. But in case a hoe wanna jump, I'm gonna have it all organized. Cause you never know. Even on the good side, you never know what kind of in the good content streets and the professional content streets. Sometimes you still gotta let a bitch know. So the be set the raised part of me gonna always be there.
That's a good thing though, because here's the thing: if you think about it, right? If you go into these other sectors and these other places, right, and they think that you so meek and so mild, and they don't realize that you got raised in, the swing and bang sector, right? We swinging and for our life sometimes. Then they won't understand that, and they'll be thinking you easy prey, and then you show them you not.
Cause I already been kind of moonlighting and going like look, the professional thing, looking at stuff and trying to get my stuff set up. And somebody did get some of me, whatever. And it was a comment we started talking on discussion or whatever. And I heard Pizarro in my head, D Miss Sophie, you don't let that bitch know. Like I know you ain't letting a bitch talk to you in my head, cause that's what she do me here. Like I know D Miss so, and like she'll review something, like especially when Code then was coming over here and she'll review a live and thinking it's going one way and get the dog messed up. And then she, before
Uh-oh. It done took her out, y'all. It done took her out. But no, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't try to fight. I'm one of those people that's just chill and I just want to relax and let's have a good old time and talk to each other. But if I have to, don't think I can't. I just don't want to. There's a difference. There's a huge difference between you can't and you just don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just not in my heart like that. Like, I'm not that type of person. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something, Miss Brandon. I don't know if you noticed. You like Sonic Ice, like the place where you go. Do you believe you could go buy a bag of ice from Sonic? where you like eating those big cups of ice. Child, Sonic Ice is the best ice. And you know why I found out they ice is the best ice? Because they use what is it called? Sparkling water or something like that for their ice, and that's how they make it, and that's why it tastes different than other ice. Mm-hmm. They ice is like the best ice ever. If you look it up online, mm-hmm. It is toxic, lovely one. It really is, and that's why I don't like fighting if I don't have to. Like I'm one of those people like that's gonna try everything I can not to fight, but please don't push me to that edge because I have a crazy side, and I'm gonna say this: if y'all ever see me on the streets and I'm getting ready to do that, please come get me off the person before I go to prison. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm one of those people that black out, so I don't like to fight because I'm scared of what I'm gonna do. If that makes sense. Like I don't know if any of y'all have ever had to deal with that in a situation like that. Like it's not that you're afraid to fight somebody, you're afraid of what you're gonna do, right? You're afraid of how far you're willing to go. And I'm crazy, I admit it. Hey, Miss Heather. Yes, you can get a whole bag of ice from Sonic. I looked it up online. They sell it. Also, if y'all didn't know, if y'all go over to, if you like Olive Garden, right? You know their cheese graters. Did you know that you could buy their cheese graters and they'll give you little sample cheeses? You can buy little sample cheeses from them and you can buy cheese from them and stuff. Did y'all know that? Look it up. I got a cheese grater from Olive Garden. You can buy their cheese graters. Mm-hmm. My husband found it out. We got us a cheese grater, y'all. Just saying. But I'm one of them people that's crazy enough. If you see me fighting on the streets, please get me off that person before I go to jail. Because I don't want to go to jail. Here's the thing. Um, I can't eat their food. Okay. Um, I can't go to jail. I'm one of those people. I see all these other people with criminal records and ankle bracelets and all that other stuff. I can't live off that. I can't live off that food. It's awful. It's awful. I can't do it. Mm-mm. See, that's why I don't want to go to jail. It's not that I'm afraid to be in there with other women. It's not I'm afraid of anything else in there. But I just can't. I can't eat that nasty prison food, and I'm gonna starve to death while I'm in there. So I can't be going to prison because of that. Everybody's like, "Oh, you not?" Yeah, that's the reason. That's my whole reason. It's the nasty food. I can't do it. I'm out here in the real world with the good food. Hmm. And they do. They give you a few bits of cheese. James is right on that. They give you a few bits of cheese so you can take it home. If y'all don't know that, y'all need to know that. That's some stuff. It ain't but like $15, $20 for the grater anyway. It ain't that expensive. Oh, also, yes, I do want to pre warn anybody who eats a lot of ice. It can lower. One of the reasons why you may be craving ice is you may have too much iron in your system. But if you eat like a bunch of ice in a day's time, it can lower your iron levels to the point of you might need to go to hospital. So be careful eating a lot of ice because that's why they tell pregnant women not to eat ice. Hmm. Well, I don't know what's special about the Olive Garden cheese graters, but they work really well. Um, and it ain't that expensive. So that's the only reason I'm telling folks if they know, if they just want to go get one, if they have an Olive Garden nearby, they're not that expensive, and they give you little cheeses to go with it, and they work really well. Like they grate the crap out of some cheese. They do. Yes, it can lower your iron. It could be really detrimental to your health. So make sure if you eat a lot of ice that you get your levels tested. You may be craving the ice because your levels are too high, which can be dangerous. But then also you could lower them too fast, or you could literally lower them to the point that you need to take iron supplements. So be very careful with eating too much ice. When you're pregnant, or if you know a pregnant woman that's eating a lot of ice, tell her to be careful. Sometimes when you crave certain foods or certain things, it's because you're missing, something that the food has. Like if you're craving potatoes a lot of the time, potatoes are very high in potassium. Also, if you're craving potatoes, it could be possible that the starch in the potatoes is actually what you're craving. because it actually does potato starch. If you don't know this, Beano, you take it before you get gas. Beano is made of just potato starch. I don't know if y'all know that. Potato starch. Go look on the back of a Beano bottle and look at the ingredients. Do you know what the only ingredient in Beano is? Potato starch. Like, I'm not joking to you at all. Look at the back of that bottle. I looked at it one day. I was like, you got to be crapping me. That's when I was having my stomach issues because I have gastritis and GERD, right? So when I was having the worst stomach issues you can imagine, I was craving potatoes. Like, I was craving them so bad. And I realized the reason and it was boiled potatoes specifically, and I've never been huge on that. Um, and I literally ate a crap ton of potatoes because I was craving it because of the starch within it, not the potassium for me, because my potassium levels were normal, but it was the starch content that's in potatoes. I would suggest for anybody that's in here, because you can crave it too, Catherine, if your iron is low, uh, but I would suggest if you're craving any food like really severely, and it's for that reason I would get my levels tested, because I don't know if y'all know this. My mom, a few years ago, she had really high potassium from eating too many bananas. She was craving it. She was craving bananas real bad, right? It made her potassium go so high that she quite literally went unresponsive, and they couldn't figure it out at first. And then they tested her blood levels and found out that her potassium was really high. So you have to be real careful with that, um, if that's a thing for you. Um, I would suggest that if you're having really strong food cravings to the point of you want to eat it every single day, to possibly get your blood levels checked just to make sure you're okay. And if in case it comes out that they're not elevated in any way or lowered in any way to a severity, it could just be that you're craving the food. But a lot of times you do crave foods because you're lacking in something or you have too much of it. One of the two. So that's why I say that. Now, I will say that sometimes I do crave salt because I'm lacking in it. There have been times I've got my sodiums level tested, and if I do without salt for a long time, because I don't eat it all the time because my husband has a problem with sodium, so occasionally I have to make sure I use real salt because my sodium levels will actually bottom out. And I'm one of those people who just every once in a while have to have it. You know what I mean? So I get my levels tested every few months because of my liver condition, right? I have to get a CBC with differential, which is different than just a CBC. A CBC only tests your like just the basics, right? A CBC with differential tests just about everything. And I have to have a CBC with differential because I have to get my liver enzymes checked and I have to get my bilirubin checked and all that other stuff that goes with that. Well, it may be, Miss Heather, either you need to might maybe get you a glucose monitor. If you're craving specifically sweets, it could be that you're either pre-diabetic or you may be a low diabetic. Um, so you could get you a glucose monitor and check your glucose. Your A1C may be off. I would check that if you yeah, eating cups of ice suggests that a person has an iron deficiency. That is very true. I would get that checked if you craving the crap out of ice. I would get that checked. Do you know what? I'll tell you a way right quick. You're going to laugh at me when I say this. You want to know how to raise your iron levels? If you are having a deficiency, there's two ways to do it. Fry a steak in a cast iron skillet, right? And don't make it well done. Eat the steak a little rare or a little more medium, right? Also, like liver, if you like liver, specifically beef liver, it'll help raise up your iron. It's something about beef liver. And if you fry it in a cast iron skillet, I don't know what it is about it, but they're suggesting that it'll help raise up your iron. It's something about red meats. Um, Now, red meats are not good to have all the time. There are certain vegetables that are very high in iron also, so you can look into those. Um, but if it's like your iron's really low, really bad, that's one of the fastest ways to pop it back up. I would check that though, Miss Heather, because sometimes people crave things either because they're low in it or because it's too high. It can swing. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes you crave specific things because of that. Like I forget what it is you're missing in chalk, but some people crave chalk and stuff like that, and and I forget what it is that you're missing when it comes to that. But there's a lot of weird cravings that people have. Like I'm gonna tell you, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. When I was pregnant, the weirdest thing I craved was pizza. And you're gonna say, well, that's not weird. The way that I craved it was weird. Y'all, I wanted to take an entire pizza, put it in a blender, and drink it. That's how much I wanted pizza. That's how bad that I wanted it. Like I couldn't get enough of it. It was crazy. It was crazy, y'all. Lovely one's gonna go get her the cheese grater and then say I sent the Hey, they work really good, those cheese graters do. And they give you like little sample cheeses. So they give you some Parmesan and some other little cheeses. And you get some free cheese when you buy the cheese grater. So that's what's cool about it. When you buy that cheese grater from Olive Garden, hmm you get some free little cheeses, little sample cheeses. You gotta ask them for it. Make sure you ask them for it, and they'll give you some little sample cheeses. It's awesome. But no, yeah, I get a checkup every 3 months because of my liver condition. I get it tested every few months because uh, when they put you on any kind of new medication. I will also tell y'all this for those that may not know: if you have somebody in your life that has a liver condition, it's not just alcohol that they have to stay away from or be careful with. They cannot take NSAIDs and they cannot take Tylenol like that. Your body, your liver, it stays on your liver for a while. If you know anybody who has fatty liver disease, they my doctor prescribed to me to take vitamin E every day because vitamin E supposedly takes the fat off the liver. I have NAFLD, which is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Mine came from pregnancy, basically. Basically, the weight of the pregnancy bared down on my liver and caused it to go into failure, right? I had a condition that happened while I was pregnant that caused that. It was too much fluid around the baby. Um, I literally looked like I was pregnant with triplets and I only had one baby because of the amount of excess fluid that I created, right, while pregnant. And it bared down too much on my liver and caused me to go into failure. And so I have to deal with that for the rest of my life because here's the thing: the liver is one of the coolest things in the body. It does heal itself, but you're left with scar tissue for the rest of your life, right? So it's never going to be completely the way it was before. And it'll never go completely away because I thought I had PBC, which is primary biliary conjunctivitis. They changed it from cirrhosis because not every person who has PBC has cirrhosis, right? Not every person who has it. I had all the precursors for it, but I didn't have it, thank God. Because what that basically is that you end up having to take um, Uracil for the rest of your life. Um, and the little tubes that connect the liver to the rest of the body, I mean, to do its due diligence, because a lot of people don't know that the liver is not only a digestive organ, but it also does a lot of the blood filter. Like, so people with liver conditions, if they have a severe enough one, their blood doesn't clot like it should, so they can become a free bleeder. They bruise easy. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that go along with the liver. It removes toxins from the bodies, from the body, right? So a person can build up too much toxin and then seem as if they're drunk or on drugs when they're not, is because the liver's in failure, right? So that's why also when there's Hep A outbreaks, I have to freak out and stay away from people and use masks, because a lot of people don't know. They assume when they hear hepatitis, there's two kinds of hepatitis that are not STD related. I don't know if y'all know this. Because of my liver condition, I know everything to know about hepatitis because, child, I ain't trying to mess with that. Hep A is actually like a cold, and you can catch it from somebody from walking in the store if they have it while they're, you know, what do you call it, contagious, and you won't even know you have it unless it affects your liver, right? You won't even know you have it. You could go get your blood tested right now, and there's a possibility that you have the antibodies because you already caught it and didn't know it, right? Now, Hep B and Hep C, they are a lot of times blood or sexually transmitted. But then there's something called viral hepatitis, which basically means that you got a viral infection. And the hepatitis part, hep, is because of the liver. A lot of people don't know that, right? I got tested for everything under the sun when my liver went bad, child. I got so many done. I got so much blood work done. And this is how I know all this. Um, then there's also autoimmune hepatitis, where your immune system attacks your liver, right? Basically, hepatitis is an inflammation of the liver. People don't know that when they look into these things. It's crazy. It really does affect your liver. Yes, the liver is one of the only organs in the body that it can heal itself, but you're always left with scar tissue, and they call it stenosis and fibrosis, right? That's the two things when they go to do a liver biopsy that they're looking at. They're seeing what stage of stenosis you're in and what stage of fibrosis you're in, right? Fibrosis obviously is what it sounds like. It's the fibers within your liver to show what it looks like, how many it's scarred up or not. And stenosis, basically, it's the scar tissue. They're looking at the scar tissue. They're looking at the fat. They're looking at all the things within your liver. Um, I was, I think it was stage 3 stenosis, and I think it was, or was it? I remember my stages that one time. I was like stage 3 and stage 4 stenosis and fibrosis. One of them was one, and one was the other. That's how severe the damage had gotten on me. I went into complete liver failure at 20 years old. The only thing that was the answer to my liver failure, I was yellow like a crayon. Like when I say yellow, the whites of my eyes were yellow. My skin was yellow. I looked like somebody had took a yellow crayon and just colored all over me. My bilirubin was through the roof. My enzymes were in the thousands. Um, my cell counts were all over the place. My white blood cell count was in the thousands. Um, they called in my entire family thinking I wasn't going to be here no more. Um, but the only help for that is to have baby. So after baby was born, eventually it healed, but it took months. I was jaundice. I was completely jaundice. I looked like somebody colored me with a yellow crayon. I was in complete failure. Um, I was right there before you know what I'm saying? That word. I'm not, right before you pass. But I got lucky. I got lucky. And to this day, if you want to see a walking miracle, I'm here. Because they can't really tell you how I got better. Um, really, to tell you the truth, as bad as it was. Um, so for me, that would be 17 years ago. So 17 years ago, I wasn't supposed to be here, but I'm here. So that's why I say always count your blessings, baby. If you're here and you can breathe and you can talk and you can walk, count your blessings, because not everybody can do that. But going through liver sucks because I'm gonna tell you something. I was so sad. Like remember I told you I was craving pizza. My auntie got me some pizza and I tried to eat it, and child, I got so sick. I'm gonna tell y'all three things. I want y'all to know this. Hey, straight out of storyline. The first sign of liver dysfunction is being extremely tired, like the tiredest you ever been in your life, and you can't explain why. Two, your skin will be itchy all over, like you're itchy, 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 right? And you don't know why. Third sign is if you eat any fatty foods, I mean any fatty foods with just a little bit of grease in it, you will get deathly ill. And every time you eat something with grease in it, you got to go to the bathroom or throw up, one of the two, within 5 minutes of eating it, or less than 5 minutes, as soon as it hits your stomach, pretty much, right? As soon as it starts trying to digest, you get deathly ill, like within 10, 15 minutes. Not like food poisoning per se, but it's quicker than food poisoning. You know, food poisoning takes a little while to kick in. No, this kind of thing don't take a little while to kick in. You'll be the most sick you've ever been in your life. Those are some of the signs, because the liver, a lot of people don't know this, is a silent until it's too late. But I didn't pay attention to the first signs because I was pregnant. I thought I was having morning sickness, right? I didn't pay attention to the signs. I didn't realize the real tiredness because I was pregnant. I never got the itchy skin, right? So I thought all those symptoms were from pregnancy. Because don't they match up? Ain't you extremely tired in your first and second trimester? Don't you, get sick at your stomach when you eat certain foods? So I thought most of my symptoms were for pregnancy, not realizing that I was literally going into failure and my liver was messing up. I didn't know. I would always tell anybody also certain medications like statins. My doctors right now are trying to figure out if I can go on a statin because statins actually affect your liver. Some people it never affects them and their liver can take it and they're healthy for the rest of their life. But because I already have a liver condition, I have to be very careful what medications I take. Very careful, even for my ADHD medicine, right? I have to be very careful. So, if you have to know anybody that you know is an alcoholic or they're extremely overweight, especially someone who's overweight but might be healthy, please tell them to go ahead and start taking the vitamin E. It's not going to hurt anything anyway, just to try to get some of the fat off their liver. I don't want anybody to go through this. It's not fun. Like when I have headaches, I can't take medication for it like other people can. I have to either deal with it or every once in a while, if it's bad enough where it makes me want to get sick, I take a Tylenol. That's the only thing I can take, but I can't take it all the time because it affects the liver, right? I'm going to tell you something. That liver, a lot of people don't know how important it is. It's important, child. And until you have to deal with that liver disease, you don't want to deal with that liver disease. But a lot of people don't realize that about, different things that have to deal with that. And a lot of us go through different things. You know what I'm saying? Some of us have pain problems here. Some of us have, we're neurodivergent. We're ADHD. Some of us have, I just thought, lovely one, I thought that I was pregnant and the baby didn't want the food I was eating. Certain foods when you're pregnant don't agree with you, so you get sick. Morning sickness. That's what I thought it was, even though I was into my 4th month at the time. I didn't realize that was the first sign. I was extremely tired, but I thought it was just because I was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So I thought I was just extremely tired because I was pregnant. I've heard of a lot of women being extremely tired when they're pregnant. I did not pay attention to the first signs of liver dysfunction because I thought it was all from my pregnancy. I had no idea. I was a 20-year-old pregnant, healthy, didn't do drugs, didn't drink. During my pregnancy, I was going to the doctor like I was supposed to, taking my prenatals, doing what I was told to do. And even when I got sick, I only took the medications they told me I could take, right? So I was on top of my A game when I was pregnant, right? I wouldn't even let people smoke around me or nothing. Like I was on my A game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, everything's going to be fine. I'm going to have a normal pregnancy. Everything's going to be great. No, it did not turn out that way for me. And that's also why I've never had another child. I only have the one. And there's a reason why. They told me that if I ever got pregnant again, the problem that I would have, um, they said there's a 50-50 shot of what happened the first time could happen a second time. But they also told me that when I get about 6 or 7 months pregnant, when the weight of the baby starts pressing down, that my liver could go into dysfunction the next time and I may not make it out. So that's why I've never tried to get pregnant again. I do everything to, even though I would love to have another child, I've always wanted to. I knew what was best for me was to not try to do that. Not to mention, I had my son at 27 weeks. That's when I went into complete liver failure. He was born I went into the hospital, went into preterm labor at 27 weeks. He was born at 28. He was a micro preemie. He almost didn't make it. But I really didn't have a choice about the matter, And so, do I want to go through that again? No. That was a really tough time in my life, but I'm here now, and my son's supposed to be 17 this year. He's like 6'3". He's a big old dude. He's healthy. I couldn't ask for more, if that makes sense. God bless me in that. And I know not everybody in this sector believes in God, and I get that. I'm not going to tell you how to feel about if you're spiritual or not, and what you believe. But for me, I have no choice but to believe, because neither myself nor my son would be here without a miracle. We were literally miracles. You know what I'm saying? So I have to believe in miracles. I have to believe in a higher power that kept me here. Because it showed wasn't the doctors, and it wasn't all the, they couldn't figure out how I lived. They were calling in my entire family, so I have to. Yeah, I didn't have any other complications, lovely one. And I thought the weight gain was from being pregnant too. And I went to the doctor every month. The weight gain happens so fast. Because during the first part of your pregnancy, you only go to the doctor once a month until you get 7 months. Then you start going every 2 weeks. And then when you get in your 8th or 9th, I think it's 9th month, you go once a week after that. So I hadn't even got to the point that I took the dreaded sugar test. So a lot of women who go through the sugar test, I didn't get to take the sugar test because I didn't make it that far in my pregnancy before I had my son. In fact, I was in the hospital when I was supposed to go take it. They were trying to stop my labor with medications. And I had to call my doctor and go, I can't make it to my appointment. And the doctor goes, why? I go, I'm in the hospital. So I didn't even get to take the dreaded glucose test that every woman takes because I was in the hospital. Yeah, a lot of people don't have complications from liver dysfunction. And the only reason they find out usually about it is either through a blood test or they're so far into the liver problem. Like when you start getting into failure mode and your bilirubin rises and the jaundice sets in, that's, you know what I'm saying? That's when you notice things about that, right? Hey, VS Love. I loved your live from this morning. That was really good. But if it wasn't for the Lord, I wouldn't be here today. I'm just going to tell y'all, that's why I praise him every day. I praise him for my son because I had a cousin who had a baby at the same. Our babies would have been like, let me say it like this. My son's due date was in April and he was born in January. Do the math. He was supposed to be born in April and he was born in January. My cousin had a very similar situation and her baby didn't make it. I got very lucky that my son is here. I got very lucky that he doesn't have more health complications, because they told me when he was being born that he was going to have so much more wrong with him, and he didn't. I'm going to tell y'all something else. Anybody in your family who has a premature child, if the baby is below 3 pounds, they qualify for a social security check from the time they are born. Now, y'all want to hear something crazy? My son weighed 3 pounds, 2 ounces. He was 2 ounces over the limit. They only count birth weight. They don't count what they dropped down to. Not even a day later, he dropped down to 2 pounds, 4 ounces, but he didn't qualify, because those kind of babies have all kind of health issues, and they have to go back and forth to the doctors. It helps with their insurance and everything else, right? Premature babies of that prematurity, being micro preemies, right, have a lot of health issues. He didn't qualify because he was 2 ounces over what they said. um they told me he wouldn't weigh a pound. They said he's measuring about a pound and 3 ounces, and they said he's probably going to come out weighing less than a pound. But he come out 3 pounds, 2 ounces, and he was 16 and a half inches long as a micro preemie, as a 28 weeker. I didn't even make it to 7 months with my pregnancy. I was in my 6th month when I went into labor. So that's why my doctors didn't catch the excess fluid, because it happened from my 5th month to my 6th month in a matter of weeks. Literally in the matter of weeks. So there was nobody to catch the situation. And who's to think that a healthy 20-year-old person who has no previous health conditions would be a high risk pregnancy? Who's to think that that person would have their liver go into complete failure and have excess fluid and all these other things? I was not pregnant with twins. It was a single pregnancy. So it wasn't, there should have been no complications, right? So nobody thought to think to look at any of these things for me, because, you know, it happens. But he is a miracle. And I will say that. That's why I can't help but to believe in the good Lord, because when I look at him every day, and this child is so smart. When I say smart, when he was 12 years old, he was telling me about quantum physics. He's gotten to the point that I can hardly teach him anything anymore. He's teaching me now. You get what I'm saying? Um, I was so blessed, just because now he did come out with mild cerebral palsy, but his cerebral palsy, because cerebral palsy is different in every child. And a lot of people don't know what cerebral palsy is. I'm going to give you a breakdown. Okay. Cerebral palsy can affect a child in 3 different ways. It can be physical, and most of the time it is physical. Um, and then if they have a mental disability because of it, it's a compounded thing. The cerebral palsy itself is basically brain damage when they're little, either by stroke in utero, or like him being born extremely early. The brain didn't develop all the way, right? And so he had to develop outside of the womb. But he had a little bitty white spots on his brain, which is brain bleeding when they're babies. Um, his is just in his legs and his arms. So he had to have surgery when he was 8 years old on the back of his knees and his ankles to release the tendons. Basically, the tendons in his body, they got real tight, right? It's called hypertonia. Basically, you have where it just tightens up so tight, he walked like a ballerina, because his ankle would not go flat. His foot would not go flat on the floor because his ankle was so tight and his knees were tight. And so they had to do the surgery. But he walks just like everybody else now. He has a slight limp, but it's not terrible. So, would he ever be able to physically play sports? No. That he could injure himself if he ever played sports, because of the surgeries, right? But, and he had, it's not, it's called retinal detachment. And when a baby's born that preemie and they have to stay in those incubators for so long, what happens is that where they push the warm air to keep the baby's temperature correct, it affects the eyes and it affects the blood vessels in the eyes, and it makes the blood vessels too large, and they detach the retina from the eye and they go blind. So they have to have a surgery a lot of times when they're really little. When he had his first surgery, he was only 2 months, fixing to be 3 months old. He had laser eye surgery when he was a baby. Scary as crap when your child's only 4 pounds and 11 ounces and they have to go into surgery and they have to be put to sleep and all this other stuff. Very scary. And especially if you're worried your child will not be able to wake up, if your child worried your child won't be able to breathe because they're so premature. Um, but that is something that people with micro preemies and really premature children have to go through. There's a lot more that goes into that than you would know. I got really lucky and had some really cool nurses who even got my son like little preemie clothes. Like when he was little, preemie diapers were really big on him. Like a preemie diaper would go over half of his body. They couldn't even put a preemie diaper on him when he was in the incubator when he was first born. He was too little. I couldn't hold him for the first 2 weeks of his life. I could only put my finger in the little thingy and touch him. That was it. I didn't see his face until 2 weeks after birth because he was on a CPAP machine and it covered his face. So there's a lot that a premature parent goes through. And I'm going to tell you something. Every time you walk out of that hospital, you hit your knees and feel as if, for the parents who have lost a child, I know only a fraction of what you felt, and I don't want to go through that. Let me say it that way. I know only a fraction of what you felt. A fraction, a small portion. Every time I walked out of that hospital and couldn't go home with my baby, I hit my knees. And not knowing if he was going to make it or not. You'll hit your knees. You get what I'm saying? So, I felt a fraction of that, not a fullty. And it is a lot. I am telling my story on this fact, and I don't care if anybody ever says anything bad about it, because I'm going to tell you something. I know where I've been and I know where I'm going, if that makes sense. And every person on here has a story to tell and something they've been through. And maybe there's somebody that's going to watch this replay or somebody that's in this audience right now that may be going through something or has been through something similar, and maybe it'll help. That's the way I look at it. And if somebody else uses it for nefarious means, guess what? That's on you, baby, not on me. When I go to heaven and I hear my good book, I know I did right. But I want everybody today to make sure that you have the best day you can possibly have. Don't let nobody get to your mental health today. Don't get nobody making you feel like you ain't enough, because guess what? You are perfect just the way you are. God didn't make no mistakes, baby, when he made you. He made you the perfect person that you can be right now, even if you're imperfect in others' eyes. He made you to be who you are. All your life experiences and the things that you've been through made you who you are today. So don't look at your past as a shame. Look at your past as a learning experience and do better for your future. Take every bad thing that's ever happened to you in life and look at it as a positive. Change the way you think about things. Because trust me when I say this, you never know what somebody on these streets are going through right now. You never know what they've been through in their life, right? I've opened up very little. I ain't told everything I've been through. Not everything, right? But if I could write a book about my life story, it would be a long story, right? And a lot of heartache and a lot of bad things that went down. But I promise you, it gets better. I promise you that in this life, you take every bit of those bad experiences and you turn them and say, you know what? Nah, this may have been bad. This might have been awful what happened to me. But if I didn't have this happen, would I be who I am today? Did I save somebody else from going through what I went through? Because I could see the red flags and they couldn't. You see what I'm saying? So take every bad experience and turn it into a positive, because every one of us have been through something. And every one of us right now is still going through something and having to deal with scars from our past and having to deal with pain and having to deal with mental issues. Every one of us, ain't none of us perfect, ain't none of us, and if they try to claim they perfect, they not, they lying to you. Ain't none of us a perfect person. We all have problems, but it's how we move forward with those problems, and it's how we treat each other. I may not be a perfect person, and child, sometimes I may want to cuss a hoe out, but I promise you that with me, a lot of times it does come from a place of love, unless you piss me off. And then I'm gonna say my evil side comes out, but I don't like her coming out. She needs to stay in her corner. I keep her. She gets thrown away a lot. No, no, we don't need to deal with you. Uh, but we all gonna be okay in this world, and I just want everybody today to take time out, go do something constructive, go do something that you enjoy, that helps you have a moment of clarity and breathe. Walk outside and just take a deep breath of air. Look around you at all the beauty that surrounds you. If you have an animal in your life, look at that animal. Really pay attention. Really pay attention to the beauty that surrounds you. If you look at your kids, I want you to look at them today and think about, you know what? Ain't I blessed? Even if they being little hellions, right? Or even if they grown. Really sit back and look at them and pay attention for a minute and just take a deep breath. We are given so much that we don't see in our life. The people around us, the beauty of the outdoors, our animals in our lives. That is so much more than us. Because sometimes we are stuck in our own way of being selfish and only thinking about ourselves. Look at what's around you. Look at the beauty that's around you. Even when you're at your lowest, think about the blessings you do have. Because you may have food in your belly and somebody else may not. You may have a roof over your head, somebody else may not. You may be living in a car right now, but at least you got a car to live in. Even if you're living out on the street and you still got food that day, think about the things you do have. Don't always focus on what you don't have, because one day it can happen to all of us. So remember to be grateful for what you do have. And I want y'all all to have a beautiful day. And on this day, I'm going to say a little prayer. Those who are not into God, you can turn your head away for a moment. Dear Heavenly Father, today I want you to come here and I want you to wrap your amazing arms around everybody that is within listening ear to this. I want you to prove to them how much your love is and how blessed they are. They don't even see it, Lord. When an angel comes into their life, they don't even pay attention. And angels come in many forms and fashions. And even on their hardest days, Lord, I want you to give them strength and love. And even if they're losing somebody in their life right now, a family member's going something, they're going through surgeries, they're going through hard times, they're doing without food, they're doing without this, Lord, show them who you are and give them the strength to get through all these things they're dealing with on today. And dear Heaven, Lord, I want to thank you for everything you've given me. I want to thank you for waking me up this morning. I want to thank you for the animals that you put in my life. I want to thank you for my child, my life, and everything. And in your name I pray, amen. I had to say a little prayer because I do believe. And those who don't, I want you to know, I'm never putting you down for not believing. It's your personal choice. And maybe one day you'll find him. Maybe one day you won't. It's up to you. I'm never going to tell you what to do in your life because it's your life. It's not my right to tell you what to do, and I'm not going to judge you. I promise you that. Don't ever give up to him, because I promise you it does get better. Over time, it does get better. Something's going to come in your life when you least expect it. Something. I don't know what that something's going to be, but I promise you it's going to come in your life when you least expect it, and it's going to give you the rest of that strength that you need to make it through. Because I was going through it too. I've been at my hardest times. I've been the mama that was over there crying and trying to figure out how I was going to make it being a single parent back in the day, right? How am I going to make it? How am I going to do this? Am I going to be able to get my son Christmas? Am I going to be able to get my son birthday? You know what I'm saying? Just crying and trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? Hard times, real hard times, right? Losing family members, you know what I'm saying? And all this other stuff. And just, every day was so hard, and I was falling, and I was just felt like I was digging a hole, and every time I would try to get my head above water, something else would hit me, and I'd be up under that water again. But every single time God came through. He came through every single time and put some kind of angel in my life, one way or another. He always made sure I made it through. You get what I'm saying? I am proud of every single one of you who do not give up that fight, because I promise you it does get better. It will get better. You have to be willing to keep fighting. Don't give up, because I promise something's going to come in your life, whether you know it or not. Whether it be right now or 5 years from now or 2 minutes, don't give up, because I promise you when that does come into your life, it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to you, and you're going to be thanking the Lord that you didn't give up during this hard time. Because that's what I felt like. If I had done what my mind told me to do, I wouldn't be here today, and I would have missed out on so much. So much happiness, so much goodness. I would have missed out. And I'm so glad I didn't give up that fight. And I promise you it does get better. And if you just take a second to look around you right now, you don't even realize there may be somebody already there right now, and you just ain't paid attention because you're going through some things and your mind is clouded with grief and hurt, right? There may be somebody right now, right around you, and you don't even know it. There may be some things around you right now that you're not paying attention to. So take a moment, take a deep breath, and realize it always gets better. And I will keep you in my prayers, Dehan. And anybody in this live or anybody that rewatches this live, I'm going to keep you in my prayers. Because if he can help me live through just something that I wasn't supposed to live through, and my son to be here today and be happy and healthy and just good, he can help you too. He wasn't supposed to make it. So we got two miracles over here that if we can make it, you can make it, baby. Through all hardships, we can make it. We just got to be strong enough to do it. Because you know God only puts the weight on his strongest warriors. So that means, Dehan, that you're one of his strongest warriors. And you got to keep showing that strength. Keep showing that beauty. Don't give up. Promise me that you will not. If anything today, if you're going through something and you feel like you're going to go, promise me today that you will not. Take a step outside. Take a deeper. I want you to just look at the birds. I want you to look at the trees. Feel the breeze blowing on your face. See what God has created right in front of you. The beauty that surrounds you every day that we don't pay attention to sometimes. There is beauty in everything you see. Everything, I promise you. Just keep smiling. Keep going, and it's going to get better. Right now, you don't think it will. And it may take a year or two for it to fully heal, but it will. I lost the angel of my life, my brother, and I've told y'all about it 20 years ago. And it took me years for that pain to heal. And I've lost every grandparent. I've lost siblings, you know what I'm saying? Close family. And it hurt every single time. But losing my brother felt like a part of my soul was ripped out of me. Right? And it took me years to heal, and I still miss him every single day. But now, after 20 years, I'm able to look back and see all the beauty and fun times we had. I'm able to look back on him with all the amazingness that God gave me. Because I'm going to tell you something. That was a God's gift. That was an angel on this earth. My brother was an angel from God. And I'll always believe that. So on today, I want y'all to keep smiling and keep laughing and keep your heart light. And everybody have a blessed day. I will see y'all later on these streets.
I'm from the TUPELO. I'm reppin' my hood, so love I'm gon' show from the TUPELO. I'm reppin' my hood to the day that I go from the TUPELO. I'm reppin' my hood, so love I'm gon' show from the TUPELO. I'm ripping my hood to the day that I go.
I'm from the west side, we don't need no introduction, this was the best ride. We all big boy rolling and holding, come take a test drive. Hilldale, Evergreen, Glenkirk, Outer Street, bending every corner on the west, and that's where I'll be. Sunroof back, Captain C banging down 1800, chunking up the deuce to my post slanging down on 1800. Show no love to the ladies that's training round on 1800, making time stand still, crystalline swinging down on 1800. Watching out for them knuckleheads that be stanging round on 1800. Big rims and low pros be blanging round on 1800. Better completely change the way you're thinking about round 1800. Really hate to see you boys get left slanking round 1800. Out of street got some history, just let Captain C lay it out. If I don't finish it all on this one, let the second verse play it out. Remember the blue apartments when OG standing back there by 60 deep. Bull walking, Charles Blue, a big Anthony Hughes and Pee.
I'm from the TUPELO. I'm ripping my the TUPELO. I'm reppin' my hood, so love I'm gon' show from the TUPELO. I'm rippin' my hood to the day that I go from the TUPELO. I'm reppin' my hood, so love I'm gon'